Hey everybody, it is Saturday. God, where is this week gone? It is gone so quickly. Anyway, One Life represents the duo which is sitting next to me, even though they're all over in America. The one and only lovely Mission Road, everyone. So, welcome guys, welcome to the show. How are we?
Oh, every day is wonderful.
Yeah.
Every day is wonderful. That's what I like.
Great, AJ.
And we had to put the brakes on you. You was just about to leave in the car as you was going to join the show, which is why we've been joined early.
Yeah, we really appreciate you being able to do this. Yeah, last minute gig came up, so we're gonna have to, and it's a long drive to the Maryland coast. So.
2 hours away.
Yeah.
2 hours. Oh my God, that's a long journey. Bless you. And with all your gear in the car as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So what's going to be on the radio on that 2 hour drive? Will Mission Road be on there for the whole 2 hours, or is there something else that you love to listen to on your travels?
We love to listen to the country radio stations that are. There's a station out of Frederick that we listen to, so that we'll be able to listen to for most of the trip.
But we also do a lot of brainstorming when we are headed from one show to another, where we talk business and planning and strategy, and sometimes we talk about a new song that we're going to be writing.
Yeah, but Christina also, what she'll do is she'll beam her phone to the dashboard, right? and we'll listen to some new songs from friends and things like that too.
Yeah,
fantastic. There's nothing like a good old road trip. You're going, isn't it? Especially when you go into a gig, it seems almost refreshing in terms of getting yourself prepared, getting yourself ready. I hate the local gigs where you're only 2 minutes up the road and you haven't got time to relax.
Actually, today I think we're going to be listening to the ISSA radio, the Rick Spin show.
Yeah.
To support our other ISSA members.
Yeah.
Big shout out to the Rick Spin show. We love listening to the Rick Spin show here at the ISSA, and One Life does support them. I've supported ISSA. I've been part of their membership for the last 5 years as a singer-songwriter. Only just recently as a podcast host. And we have a lot of members who come on to this show from the ISSA, and they're an amazing bunch of people. Their music is absolutely amazing, and it's around the world. Everyone who wants to know a bit more about the ISSA, please contact me after the show today. But they come from everywhere. We've got some guests who won in the ISSA awards, like yourselves, who come from the UK. So they cover everywhere and all genres of music, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in relation to, before we start the show, we're just having a general chit chat because that's what I like to do on One Life. We just have a chit chat. That's what we're about.
Yeah.
So in terms of One Life, let's give you some quick updates in relation to Willen Hospice. We continue to raise money for Willen Hospice throughout the month. Welcome, Willen Hospice. I know you'll be listening and watching these amazing shows that we're bringing for you, and all the families and friends also on the Willen Hospice page. I'm aware that you've also been shared the links to the shows which are going out live daily. In relation to supporting one another, we are aware that the Willen Hospice is going to be a really tough, tricky subject for everybody out there. And we just want you to know that we're there for you here in One Life, and so are the artists. Every single artist out there have come on the show and basically are there to support you at Willen Hospice, but they're also there to support all the families as well. We know it's such a difficult time to go through palliative care, and we don't want you to be alone. We want you to know that there's support out there. And hey, come along and listen to our music. I tell you what, when you're feeling in a really bad way and you're feeling like, things are going completely in the wrong direction, putting on the music track. And I think that's why we spoke to Mission Road just now about what's it like when you're going from gig to gig. You put that music on, you listen to your music, and you can almost be lost in the troubles of day-to-day life. And I think those artists who bring us that really good music out there can cheer us up in a lot of ways. So please come to us. In relation to One Life as well, I haven't really got much for you, to be honest. I was on it a couple of days ago. We've updated our playlist. So for Mission Road, basically your YouTube music will be put into our playlist. It's our way of saying thank you for coming on to the show, and also actually getting together what is an amazing playlist. I was listening to it yesterday, because I wasn't on live. And, you know, I think there's almost 40 singles on there from unsigned artists. And there's such an array of talent on there. There's videos, there's music, and, you know, it's a really good playlist. So everybody out there in podcast world and also on YouTube, if you want a good playlist to listen to, just head over to One Life. It's really good. Okay, so let's get on to Mission Road, shall we? So welcome to the show. I'm just going to do a couple of highlights because I'll tell you what, you need to come and do the blanks for me. So your highlights this year in terms of performing, I've looked on your Facebook and you guys are busy, busy, busy. You are out with singles and festivals throughout your hometown and you're on the road constantly, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we have like a motto: we'll play anywhere and everywhere. We'll travel.
You travel. So are you coming over to the UK to come and see us?
I would love to.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
Is there a particular part of the UK that you'd love to come and visit?
Well, I actually have been to London quite a few times, and I enjoy that city very much.
Fantastic. Is there any sort of venue or arena known to America that everybody wants to play? I know for us UK people, you know, if we want to go and join in with music, it's almost at Nashville, Tennessee, New York. There's loads of places that artists would love to come and play as an artist. I know myself, Nashville is like one of the places that I'd really love to come to in my life. But in terms of you from America coming to the UK, what are the venues you think, that's where I want to play?
Well, I wish I knew more about the scene in the UK. I've kind of fallen behind on that. I do know that the Hard Rock Cafe, but we're country music, but the Hard Rock Cafe started in what, Hyde Park in London?
It has. My fiance had the great pleasure of staying in Hard Rock Hotel when she visited New York, and I was very jealous. You know, she phoned me from the hotel. Was like, "What playlist would you like?" I said, "What are you going on about?" She's like, "Oh, I get to choose what music goes into my room." I was like, "I'm just jealous. I'm dead jealous being as an artist myself. It's just so unfair, you know." But it's an amazing place. Have you been
to the Hard Rock Cafe? Yes,
that's correct.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What was your experience as well?
I haven't been to the one in New York, but I've been to ones in other big cities.
But the one in Hyde Park has a very nice museum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and a whole array of guitars played and owned by very famous musicians.
Oh, that's cool.
It's great.
I'll have to go and check it out.
Of course, I'm a keyboard player. I'm not a guitar player. Well, I do.
You
play
do
some.
play
Yeah,
guitar.
I play some.
Yeah, you do play guitar. I play guitar.
Elliot is a multi-instrumentalist, but his like main thing is he's just amazing playing the keyboard. Amazing.
You're too kind. Thank you.
And we're going to hear some of that later on in the show because we're going to be playing what was your award-winning show single over the IFSA. So congratulations, you two.
Thank
That
you.
must have been amazing.
Thank you. You know, it's not too often that I feel at a complete and total loss for words, but I was that day. That was really quite a surprise and very pleasant one at that.
Brilliant.
I was just surprised. I was like, wait, what?
I'm going to go into the IFSA a bit later on the show because we're going to cover that quite a bit because, you know, that's not every single day you get a phone call and say, like, you know, you're coming to Atlanta. You are in the draw to be a winner and you are walking along the red carpet. So there's a little bit to talk a bit more in that in a bit of detail. But let's start where we always do here at One Life. Let's talk about charitable influences in music for yourselves at Mission Road. You did send me some information in your bio and I want you to just go over a bit more for our viewers in relation to how your music has touched local and national charities.
Oh my. Well, we've played twice now at the benefit for Autism Tennessee in Hendersonville, which is right outside of Nashville. And that was quite a wonderful event. It was to raise money for autism awareness.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
We've also played a couple different fundraising gigs and also open mic kind of gigs to raise money for a local kind of like charity that's called Guitarist for Vets.
And it's been found that if you can give a veteran a guitar and give him or her lessons on the guitar, that it really helps with some of the symptoms of PTSD from soldiers returning from combat.
Fantastic. That's really, really interesting, actually. There seems to be quite a big charitable influences in terms of veterans. You know, I've spoken to quite a lot of artists about the charities for veterans, and that sounds absolutely fantastic idea. Have you sort of given that support in relation to guitar lessons and music lessons? I know, Simon, your love of keyboard. You know, has anyone approached you and said, "Can you come and teach me the keyboard?"
That would be very nice. Yeah, actually, that would be quite good. The person who started the charity is a guitar player, so he's a little bit biased. You know, I'm going to talk to him. I think you should talk to him.
You could teach him how to play guitar.
But it's a lot easier to buy a guitar, because you can come up with a used guitar for a reasonable price. Buying a keyboard for somebody gets a little bit
it does. That's a good point.
But,
and I think you hit the nail on the head in relation to PTSD and anxiety, depression, and things like that. And you know, if you listen to a song, if you play music, if you get involved in music, you know, the whole world can go away. And at the end of the day, you can enjoy the love of music, the love of the person teaching you. You know, in terms of Willen Hospice itself, in terms of palliative care support, I have got to ask my artist this. You know, is there anything that, you know, has touched your family or touched yourselves in relation to palliative care support? And, you know, do you know about palliative care support over in America?
Well, I'll tell you a very sad story. I was supposed to play at a hospice in Martinsburg, West Virginia. The woman asked me to learn some Conway Twitty songs, which would be right up my alley, because that's roots country, or what I would call classic country. And I learned the songs, and I got a phone call that said that the concert that I was going to give her, and just for her personally, was being canceled because she had COVID. And then about a week later, I got a message that she had passed. So I was so sad, because I was looking forward to, that was her last request, is to hear somebody play some Conway Twitty songs for her. And my goodness, they should have just let me play, even though she had COVID, because what's the downside, for goodness sake?
Do you know what? She'd be listening to your music. She'd be up there where you know. I'm a great believer in knowing that people, when they do pass from one world to another, they listen to our music. They follow us wherever they go. You know, I've been obviously working on the benefits charity for Austin Swire. And basically the message is from family and friends is Austin is still around in our hearts. Austin is daily listening to everything what we're doing in terms of being on the road, the music that we do. So do you know what my motto in life is? You know, come on guys, you know, if they're still around us, let's play them a song. Let's keep them upbeat, you know. And at the end of the day, we can only do what we can do. So big shout out to the nurses over at Willen Hospice. You do an amazing job. I have been following your Facebook, all the events that you've been putting on this week, and you're doing a fantastic job keeping those families in a place where they're trying to work out how to get through a difficult time, but also trying to remain positive and remembering their friends and families in a positive way. So thank you for sharing that. We will move on in relation to the show itself. I just want to know that there's obviously the two of you, but you do actually have a band that travel with you. Can you tell me about this band?
Well, we have a guitar player that just joined the band. Our drummer that had been with us for a while, he's moving to Texas, so we have a new drummer, and she's working out very, very well. That's Lynn.
I'm glad to have another blonde in the band.
And then I'm blonde.
Yeah, but you're.
I was going to say, Simon, you've got a bit of blonde under that hat. I can see there's a blonde.
That's right.
There you go.
It's another blonde girl like me, so we can keep all the boys in line.
And then our bass player's been with us for quite a while, for years. His name is Paulie Coconuts, but his real name is Paul Morgan. But he goes by the name of Paulie Coconuts.
I just wanted to touch on something really quickly. Last year, we did put a show on for hospice. up in Winchester, Virginia, and we had raised money for a concert. For their last wishes was to hear a live concert of music. So we did participate in that.
Yeah, we did.
That was wonderful.
Thank you. I love doing this show because, you know, we all do singles, albums, festivals and things like that. But when we actually talk about it, it seems more amazing, you know, and what we do. And thank you so much for all the support that you've given to your local charities over there in America. In relation to meeting each other, how did you two meet?
You want to give it, sir? We met in church. We were introduced by a mutual friend in church in Northern Virginia, and I was in the church band playing keyboard, of course, and the mutual friend said that Christina had just broken up with her band, was looking for people to sing with, and so I said, all right, that's fine and dandy, and then for some reason, nothing came of it for quite a while.
And he came to me and told me that Elliot is a keyboard player. And obviously I heard that because he was on the stage playing with the church band. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice. He's like, you two should get together sometime. And I'm like, yeah, right. Because I mean, I kind of got tired of flaky musicians. Everybody always wants to say like, oh, let's get together and jam. And then it never actually happens. So I was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
And then this one did stay around and did jam for a while.
And then we went home and we never talked about it again. And the pandemic happened.
Yeah, the pandemic happened and then the church services stopped. And then she moved from Northern Virginia to West Virginia, near where I live. And we happened to meet in a local restaurant bar. Mm-hmm. And I asked her again, maybe if we should be able to play music together, because that's what, how we'd been introduced. And
actually, he chased me down in the parking lot I was leaving. And I
got her phone number and I wrote it down wrong. So it was another few months before we finally got together. But when she came over...
Hang on, Simon, I'm going back to the chasing down in the car park. You're not getting away with that. Was it
right.
a one-to-one?
Right. He did. I was leaving. So after we had a brief conversation about getting, like, hi, how are you? How you been kind of thing. We parted ways. I ate, my a burger and drank my beer. And then I was like, I'm out. I was walking to my car and here comes Elliot chasing after me in the parking lot. Wait a minute. What's your phone number? And I'm like, what do you want my number for? He's like, okay, well, maybe we can jam sometime. I have a studio in my house. And I'm thinking, this dude ran after me, wanting my phone number and wanting me to come to his house already. And I don't even know him that well.
So you gave me the wrong phone number on purpose.
No,
okay.
I gave you the right phone number. You just never called me. And so at that point, I figured that yet again, Elliot was another flake. And I never heard anything. So I guess 3 months later, we ran into each other again. And he's like, hey, I don't think you gave me the right phone number. And
that old chestnut. We've heard that one before.
He pulls out his little book that he had, wrote my number in and showed me. I said, you transpose the numbers.
I'm old school, so I wrote it down.
You've got the little black book with 100 females inside, yeah? We've all had that little black book as being a male, especially
You've got it. It's blue. It's blue. It's not black.
That's class. That's absolute class. Have you always been musicians, you two?
Yes.
Yes. In fact, we both come from musical families. My dad was a songwriter, and my mother was a singer. And Christina's grandfather was a keyboard player who actually
he was an organist. Actually, that was his main instrument, was the organ.
And her dad also plays keyboard as well.
And he used to sing very well.
Fantastic, brilliant, excellent. So we're going through the motions on the show, and with a link to that, Going Through the Motions was your award-winning show single over on the ISSA. So should we play it?
Please.
That would be wonderful.
While I'm finding it, why don't you tell everybody what this song's all about?
Oh my goodness. It's about go ahead. I wrote it.
You wrote it, but I sing it. It's from my soul. Okay. So it's about any relationship that's kind of dying, and you should no longer be in a relationship with that person. because the intimacy's gone, that best friendship, that deep connection is gone. And you're just kind of going through day-to-day life feeling like, because that's what you have to do. You're just going through the motions, trying to figure out what you should do. And when you realize that it's over and it's time to part ways, you know, you do whatever you can do to at that point, get out of the relationship. You have the conversation and then you move on with your life.
That's it. On to the next keyboard player, yeah? Right, okay, let's give it a play, shall we? Go through the motions, here we go. This is where we all just sit and relax.
Okay.
Cheers.
I've been lying with you, lying to you. All my words go right on through. I've given all the lies that I can take. And as I'm lying here beside you, getting ready to decide to get up and make a clean and even break. 'Cause I'm just going through the motions. I know now that I'm not in love with you. And going through the motions, and there's absolutely nothing I can do. Well, I know you'll never know me, and so far you haven't shown me what it might take to make our love succeed. As I look up at the ceiling, I get this sad and sinking feeling that I may never know just what I need. 'Cause I'm just going through the motions. I know now that I'm not in love with you. I'm just going through the motions, and I wish that there was something I could do. All the hurt of the goodbying, is it worth the pain of trying? That's a loaded question. Who am I to say?
So now that all the truth's been said, why don't we both get out of bed, close the door and go our separate ways? 'Cause I'm just going through the motions. I know now that I'm not in love with you. I'm just going through the motions. I'm sure that soon you'll find somebody new.
What a great song, you two.
Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you so much.
Great song. Is that both of you singing together?
Yeah.
It is. You compliment each other really well. I'm just going to say that. Well done. I really love that. Really, really love that. Come on, let's get on to the ISSA. It must have been an amazing shock to see your picture and your lights on the billboard.
Oh my goodness.
It must have been weird.
Yeah, that was also just.
That was a feeling I've never felt ever.
Has it ever been like that for you two? Have you ever thought that actually one day I'm going to wake up and there's going to be my picture on a billboard somewhere and everybody's going to see it as you drive past?
No, not me.
No.
I never ever thought that.
No, I'm a nose to the grindstone kind of person. I just try to do my best all the time and, let the chips fall where they may. And when they fall like that, I'm just blown away.
It's everybody's dream, right? Every singer, every entertainer of whatever their art is, they always want, that kind of stuff. But when it actually happens and you see yourself up there, it's like, wow. Like we have been working really, really, really hard for the past several years. And to see our faces on a billboard, it's like, wow.
Is that really us?
Right.
Sure?
Yeah, because over the years, what I'd been doing is I've been playing as a sideman in bands or I was playing keyboard for a local singer-songwriter in our area of West Virginia. And I've played a lot of gigs and all of that. But something happened when Christina and I got together and we started singing together that just kind of propelled me to the next level. So I really
same thing with me. I was singing a lot of karaoke, but in the live music scene, I was the lead singer of a couple rock bands. And although I like rock and roll or rock music, that's not my soul. Like I love country music. And so when Elliot and I started working together, the same thing happened for me. My career just started lifting off. It's just a God thing. And
I see Tammy had put out a post saying 2025 is not long away. You've all got to start putting your singles together ready for next year. It's like, come on, girl, seriously. We've only just finished the award ceremony. We've now got to start preparing again.
Hey, we're prepared though.
Yeah.
You're prepared, are you? Fantastic.
Yeah.
So I want to know about that red carpet feeling. When you walked onto the red carpet, was there photographers everywhere? What did it feel like?
It felt great. It really did. The only time I was felt like out of my element is when they called our name to come up to get the award. But talking to people, like talking to you, first of all, you're a great interviewer, so it's very comfortable talking with you, and it's a great, it's a great atmosphere. And you see, I'm sorry.
I said you're welcome. And thank you very much for the compliment. I'm trying to get that feeling for everyone else who's going to want to get there where you are. For next year, at the end of the day, there must have been some great artists. Did you meet some great people while you was out there?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I love the red carpet because there's a time where you're just kind of standing on the red carpet and there's all of these amazing artists around you. And there's times where you're not really going anywhere. So you can kind of look to your neighbor like, hi, I'm Christina from Mission Road. Who are you? Or I'm not really good with approaching people like that. But what I'll say is, oh, girl, I love that dress.
The dresses were amazing. Christina, can I just ask, did you have an amazing dress?
I did.
She did.
And everybody complimented my dress. And everybody's like, where did you get your dress? And I'm like, honestly, honey, it's like 7 years old. I got it from a boutique at the mall years ago. So.
And Elliot, the men really went for it as well. I was looking at Dimitri's outfit in terms of his winning outfit. Did you think yourself, hang on a minute, I've got to step up here. I've got to make Christina proud of me. And I'm going to try to get this award for the best dress as well.
That, and he even had jewelry on his beard. That was amazing. He went all out. So I guess next year Elliot has to put in magnetic earrings in his nose or something.
What is that, a blinging beard?
There's got to be something. When they put that as best dressed out, and I saw Debbie's outfit as well. It was amazing. And it was like what she made her husband wear with the pets and things on his back. I was saying, you know what, it's such a showpiece over there in terms of what they do for all of the artists over the ISSA, and you know, it must be such a great feeling and actually an uplifting feeling for all those new artists who are coming on board.
Yeah, and what I thought it was so fitting that the first award announced for the evening went to Caden Gordon.
Yeah.
And I just got to give a shout out to Caden, because a lot of what's happening with us now is due to his efforts. So we really
definitely a big shout out to young Caden. Young Caden joined us at One Life a few weeks ago after he'd done the show, just before doing the show, after he'd done the show actually. And yeah, we're very proud of him here at One Life as well. And what a great person to help support artists, move them onto their career, support them through their career, their singles. You know, he's got many people that he plays on his radio show. Absolutely fantastic and well deserved. And sitting on the billboard next to him as well.
Everybody loves Caden. When he was called to receive his award, I swear everybody in that auditorium
the buyers
was like hooping and hollering and screaming and clapping for Caden, and it was well deserved.
Fantastic. And a big shout out to all the artists who took part this year and who were put forward for the awards. You know, you're all amazing in our eyes. Whether you won an award or not, you're all absolutely amazing singer-songwriters, and you have a right to be there. And I'm sure next year you're going to be going for it again and going for the awards again. And, you know, it's just absolutely fantastic. Can I just ask, how nervous were you when you got on stage to get the award?
Frozen.
I tell you what, I told Elliot, I said, if we did win, I didn't believe we would win. I said, I'm going to thank, you know, like our band members and our family members and the engineer for our album. And like, I went down this list of everybody I was going to thank, right? But by the time I got up the stairs and went to the podium to talk on the microphone, I forgot every single person I wanted to thank. I thanked God and I thanked Caden, and I just drew a blank. We were both just frozen. Our hearts were racing. I was out of breath, and I was like,
well, I thanked the ISSA and
Tammany.
They did a great job of putting that whole thing together. So.
You're never actually prepared for that. I don't think I'd ever be prepared for that moment.
Well, I'm going to try to in the future, but I didn't have the hoop.
He's going for all of them. He's like, that's it now. I'm going to just like roll up my keyboard and I'm taking it everywhere, and I want award after award after award. I've even bought a new shelf. There's a new shelf being built just now, just because that one lonely award, you know, just sits there. I need to have more now. I've got the buzz.
That's right.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Fantastic. Congratulations, you two. Okay, so in terms of, you know, Mission Road, you must have a mission yourselves to not just be musicians. Tell us a bit about your personal lives. Let One Life members get to know about you two away from the music.
Oh, well, I actually... in my community, I serve on local boards. I'm on the board of a couple of schools, and I'm on the board of the local health department and things like that. And I like to participate in community affairs in my community. I serve also on the board of the local homeowners association. So to me, it's giving back to your community. And so in terms of the music, to me, the music is just something I really need to do, and now that I feel like I'm in the right situation, that the sky is the limit. So, but
you know what? I have this question every time, and I always pick on my members because we always get back to talking about music. Christina, come on, tell me about you outside of music. You're not allowed to mention music once.
Okay.
Right.
So
well, you go ahead.
So I don't have like an amazing story of boards and all that stuff that this guy does. I'm a little bit simpler. I have an administrative full-time job working for a scientific institute. And when I'm not doing that, I love to take care of my 2 dogs and my 2 cats. I used to be a race car driver.
Wow, okay, come on, tell me, was it NASCAR?
Huh?
Was it NASCAR racing? Come on,
no,
tell us a bit about that.
racing.
Well,
Drag
her
racing.
dad,
Drag racing. Quarter mile, baby.
and her dad's a mechanic, so she used to do some drag racing.
Yeah, and I used to help my dad rebuild cars and motors and.
Fantastic. So if you ever need to get to a gig quickly, you've got a car ready to go.
Exactly. Homemade turbos, or what it used to be like back in the 60s was and 70s was homemade superchargers.
Is that how Mission Road got its name? You know, I've always got this drag race to go to the next gig.
No, actually, Mission Road came about because I lived on a street called Mission Road. And so we were tossing band names around, and somebody had mentioned, hey, how about Mission Road? And we were like, that's fascinating because number one, I live there. But number two, we are on a mission, and our mission in music is to actually touch people's lives. We want to make people feel something.
So you broke the rule. You went back.
No,
to
he
music.
brought music up
Elliot, you broke the rule because I said to you, no music conversations, and you went straight back into music.
Right.
Did I? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I waited till he brought it back up.
I can't help myself. So,
You just stuck on it.
we both live on a mountain outside of Harpers Ferry in West Virginia. In fact, if you know the song by John Denver, Almost Heaven, West Virginia?
Yeah, we love that over here in the UK.
Yeah, so that's exactly where we live. She lives on one end of the mountain, I live on the other.
Oh, wow.
So right by the Shenandoah River. So if you want to know where we live, listen to that song.
That's where they are. Okay, fantastic. Well, let's touch everybody's soul with a bit more of your music before we leave this evening. So I'm going to bring up your playlist, and you are going to choose the next one for me, okay? So I'm going to go. Can you see it from there, you two? Can you see the songs? So I've got All I Want to Say, Used to Drink Whiskey, Going Through the Motions, Dear Lonely Heart. Give us the song. Which one's your favourite?
You choose it.
I think you should play Used to Drink Whiskey, but I will say the song title is Used to Drink Whiskey, but in all confession, I still do.
Fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what. Go on in it.
I'm sorry. She does. I don't.
He doesn't drink whiskey and he doesn't watch TV, but I drink whiskey and I like watch little snippets of something on TV when I'm really bored.
Well, I'll tell you what. Hopefully that you haven't got some whiskey there, but if you have, it's time to have a little bit of a break from the show. And then after the music, we're going to come back and find out from you two what the next few months are going to look like for Mission Road. Okay, so here's your song, Used to Drink Whiskey, according to Christina. She still does.
Send me a postcard, drop me a line. You'll be pleased to know I'm doing fine. There ain't nothing happening, there ain't nothing new. I'm sure that it's all the same to you.
I used to drink whiskey, but now I watch TV. I need a change of scenery. One rot's a liver, the other rot's a brain. You know that it's all the same to me. I loved him through and through, but he left me standing in the rain. Then I had another, he loved me through and through, drink whiskey, but now I watch TV. I need a change of scenery. One rots the liver, the other rots the brain. You know that it's all the same to me.
Drop by to see me when you're passing through. Old times are fun to reminisce.
Break out a bottle of 1982. Talk of how we tried and somehow missed. And I used to drink whiskey, but now I watch TV. I need a change of scenery. One rots the liver, the other rots the brain. You know that it's all the same. You know that it's all the same. You know that it's all the same to me.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it. I love it. Right. Okay. That's great. Do you know what? Okay, I've got to consider. I've had the rugby on this afternoon because it was South Africa. My partner's South African, so I had to watch the rugby. And right after was NASCAR racing. So I've just seen if you're on the TV. So you're sitting there. So you're not racing cars. I don't know where that didn't come from, but it just caught my eye. And it's just like, yeah, you see, there's a tell me this is a race car driver. What's this on the TV? Fantastic song. So I don't divulge there. Anyway, you two, we're nearly at the end of the show. Can I just ask, what's the next 6 months looking like for you two? Where are you going? What are you up to?
We have some road trips ahead of us. We're going to be going up into Massachusetts next month and then back down to Nashville. And then after that, we've got some local venues we're going to be playing at, and we just want to
play
hit the road.
We want to play in front of as many people as we can and do as many shows as we can. And really, what we're looking to do, and we're working with Caden on this actually, is to go out on tour, and that's what we would like to do: go out on tour, play our music. Let people know about our album. That album's called All I Want to Say, and we're we want to meet as many people and play for as many people as we can.
Fantastic, and I'm sure you will. In relation to finding you on sort of anywhere else in terms of Spotify, Apple, where can we find your music?
All of that: Apple, Spotify, Reverb Nation, Facebook, iHeartRadio, anywhere you get your music.
Anywhere you put your music. And also you're going to be part of YouTube. You're going to be part of the One Life family now. So you're going to be sharing your journey with us as well here at One Life. And we are going to be keeping an eye on you too. We'd love to have you on the show in the next few months to see how life's been over the last few months for you two at Mission Road. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've had a really lovely time, actually. You've cheered me up, you two. It's been a very, very long week, and I'm going to get ready for the shows next week. But I'll tell you what, for the final show of the week, you two have put a big smile on my face. So thank you so, so much for that. Is there anyone you want to say thank you for and to before you go?
I want to thank you personally.
Yeah.
I want to thank your listeners. I want to thank Caden again, and all of the other musicians and our followers that are watching our journey and have been continually supportive of us. And we have a lot of gratitude.
And thank you, God.
Thank you, God. I tell you what, everybody, it's been a very, very, very good week. We've had some really heartwarming stories. We've had some very difficult stories, but we've all kept strong and supported each other here at One Life. And it's been an amazing week for week one. And I know for Will and Hospice, they continue to keep an eye on us as artists and enjoy everybody's music, which is fantastic. So to all the artists in week one, thank you so, so much for all your contributions. But we look forward to week two. And I'll tell you what, we have got a cracker of a lineup coming up in week two. Do you want me to tell you who's coming on?
Sure.
So on week two, we have to start off the amazing Joe Clary. And then joining afterwards will be Paul Long. Julian Baker will also be on the show. Then we take a bit of a heartwarming moment on Thursday to remember the life of Austin Swiger, who was my producer. He passed away far too early, but I tell you what, we are going to showcase him as a musician because he was a very, very talented man. So family and friends will join the support show for him on Thursday, and we're all going to share our amazing memories of Austin. And then we've got Rick Revel will also be joining us on the show this week. And to finish off, the one and only, from the ISSA, the one and only Robbie Hart. What a week! Mm-hmm. I am so excited about next week. It's going to be an absolute cracker.
Oh, yes. Amazing.
So, I'm turning off. I'm going to be getting the poster ready for Sunday so you can see who's on and get to know a bit about their bios before they come on the show. So I've got lots of homework to do tomorrow, like over tonight and tomorrow. I think it's one of the biggest lineups I've had for some time. So a lot of shows coming. But before I switch off, just remember, down there on the bottom, Will and Hospice, please dig deep and make sure that you go to their page, find out about who they are. You know, they are based in the UK. For those who aren't based in the UK, it will give you some information about who Will and Hospice are and who the people they support. So go over to their website, check them out. And if you've got some time, please just go to their donation page, whether it's £1, £2, £10. I'm sure any money going to their site would be absolutely an amazing. In relation to support, I know we have spoken about some difficult things in this program. So once again, please reach out to us. You're not alone. This is a family, okay? We are there for you, okay? So I'm signing off now. I'm going to say goodbye to Mission Road. I'm going to say goodbye to you all, and I'll see you all on Monday. Take good care, everyone.
Take care, everyone.